Audi RS7 Sportback is probably, maybe we can agree on that, the sportiest Audi, just from the look. But what else? What about the power? What about the exterior details and the interior? Let's find out together on Autogefühl. Well, it's not a small car, but it just looks so sleek in the front. Yes, of course, also wide, but sleek in a very sporty way with those accentuations on the hood and those headlamps here. They either come with LED as standard, and usually it would be the next step, matrix LED and then the laser. But here for the RS, they directly hop from the LED to the matrix laser LED. And then you also have this blue accent in there, and also special for the RS, a dark background all around inside the headlamps. Very interesting. Stronger front grille, carbon fiber pack here with a lower spoiler, and you have those glossy black paint all over the grille. And you can also get black Audi rings. You do not have to get them, but you can. The length is at 5 meters, 16 foot 4 or 197 inches, and that's actually a couple of centimeters longer than the normal A7, just because of those strong spoilers front and the rear. The car is then overall a little bit longer, but of course not chassis-wise or something like that. Then here, 21-inch wheels would be standard. Those ones are the optional 22-inch wheels, pretty massive. Of course, you will lose some of the comfort then. And there are also the optional carbon ceramic brakes. Well, boost up the price even more. Will have aggressive braking performance, and especially for track use, track use will probably not happen with this car. People use it as an everyday driver car indeed, and there also the air suspension fits to the vehicle. It's set on a sportier note and also a little bit lower, 10 millimeters lower than the normal A7, and it goes even more 10 millimeters lower when you're driving higher speed, more than 120 kilometers an hour. You can see this light strip goes all over the car, as well as the width, and it also has a different form than when you look at it from here, from the A6 and the A8. They all have their, somehow a different form. The A7 more goes like this, the A6 is more like straight, and the A8 more goes like this. So, like Audi rings, you can see it right there. You can also opt for brighter ones. I mean, also another perspective, you can look at it all day. Technology highlight-wise, what else is interesting? You can have a rear axle steering optional, so that goes 5 degrees in the opposite direction than the front wheels at slow speeds, 2% in the same direction at higher speeds to stabilize the car. And you can also get a sport differential lock here for the rear axle together in one dynamic package. Both in the front and in the rear, the RS7 is 2 centimeters wider per side than a normal A7, again to stress this width. So most of the parts on the exterior, like the very exterior parts, are really specific for the RS7. And then you can see here this very interesting floating spoiler with the diffuser style, also honeycomb structure inside, and in this case again with a carbon fiber package. But again, you have some other options for that too. RS7 badge right there. And then this exhaust, the outer tip is just, for beauty. It's also a little bit exaggerated. I think the real tips are on the inside, but at least it's not a pure fake exhaust. This one here, the performance exhaust, the normal one has a chrome frame around it. And this one, might sound a little bit different. We'll soon also again find out. Well, the Audi A6 sedan has more downforce due to the building form. Here, with the A7 Sportback, it's actually, less downforce at the rear, and that's why you have this additional wing that folds out automatically when you drive really fast. But when you just want to play around or show off to your friends, you can also press a button in the infotainment screen. So, whereas the S models get a 2.9 liter V6 petrol or a 3 liter diesel in Europe, the one with the fake exhaust. Here, the RS model gets the 4-liter V8 bi-turbo petrol engine, 600 horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque, and the acceleration figures are 3.6 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour, and 12 seconds to 200 kilometers or 125 miles per hour. That's of course pretty massive. Combined with the converter automatic gearbox, all-wheel drive setup is 40% front, 60% in the rear, then a little bit adaptive. Can put a little bit more to the rear, but also a little bit more to the front, depending on the situation. But definitely you have a rear wheel bias. Then my favorite for today is this Alcantara steering wheel. First of all, because it has a sporty form, also has a flat bottom and a very good grip with this microfiber surface. This sport seat here is standard. You can also get it with the Alcantara on the inside, what we would recommend. And this one here is the RS seat with the integrated head restraint. However, if you want more comfort, you can also get another comfort seat, also with Alcantara, for example, at least on the inside. A7 in general has this flatter A-pillar already, so you don't have so much space in the interior here as you compare to the A6. But still, it's not such a huge difference. 1m86 or 6'1", still have enough head clearance right there. The interior overview, everything is really clean. Then you have this dashboard where you can maybe have breakfast or something together with your co-driver. That would be a nice idea, wouldn't it? Yeah, but you know, when I'm driving a car, there's no food in the car. Sorry about that. Yeah. What about you? Food allowed in your car? Tell me in the comments. Nice quattro badge right there. It will also be illuminated from the LED ambient light. Then you have a 10.1-inch top screen here, 8.6 below that. They also play together. Soon more details to that. And the virtual cockpit here, 12.3-inch. And there's a new RS mode button right there. When you click it, it changes the virtual instruments and you can go to 2 RS modes. GPS right there. Look how fast this visualization approaches. Wow, it's really very cool. And you can also get a satellite view for it. Other than that, the main menu is in an app view, so to say, easy to learn. Phone wireless CarPlay is now available for this car also, or other cable connection for the Android Auto or the Apple CarPlay. And oh no, we don't want any traffic information right now. And what else is interesting? Definitely here this car menu where you have the RS monitor with special gauges, tire pressure loss indicator, or also the car temperature for the coolant or the engine oil. You can see different stages for that. And the G meter also as a big visualization here in the middle part. What else? In the Audi Drive Select, you can have different driving modes. Dynamic mode will lower the car with the air suspension, make it sportier even. Then you can go for RS1 or RS2 modes. And then you can have the different settings here for those modes. I really like it when the virtual cockpit shows the GPS map all the way. Then you can better follow it, definitely. But you can also change the view a little bit like this or have other information just in your line of sight. And with the RS mode, then you can check it out here. I have the big RPM meter. So this is special RS mode, and then this RS1 or RS2. And then the setting will change the way you want to have it. And this is, by the way, the Apple CarPlay integration, so uses most of the screen. I think the integration is quite good. Here on the left side you have then also the hotkeys when you are in some of those menus. And the music with this Bang & Olufsen sound system is really cool. It's very in-depth sound, so to say, very crisp and clear. I can really recommend it. Nice. Well, here in the rear, it's somewhat cozy, yes. They're more comfortable cars for that, but you feel very much caged in around with this dark ceiling, especially in this case, Alcantara ceiling. There's some reasonable legroom left, that's okay. Of course, there are cars with better packages. Also because the rear bench falls backward a little bit, that gains some headroom and legroom, but doesn't make the seating position more comfortable. You have a sporty looking car, but then you have this fastback style and you can load things in and out as easy as with a true estate. That's a very interesting approach. Underneath here, there's just some tire replacement kit and so on, tire repair kit. Then there's this fixed cover. You can take it out completely. And then, very interesting, this net here, additional net, you can put it up and maybe to put things here that they don't fall to the interior braking then. Usually when we do our conclusion, we still have a front or front 3/4 perspective, but with this one, I have to end with this perspective, sorry. That wasn't necessary. So exterior, I think we can all agree, such a beautiful vehicle. And even with those very sporty accentuations, with those, a little bit maybe too extreme exhaust, beauty tips on the outside, half fake, I would say, and those really large rims, it still looks somewhat elegant. And that's not quite often with those top sporty models. I would probably take less black and more the chrome elements, just my personal choice. The red is also pretty cool, but I would also take a Thomas Blue, of course, for this car. The interior has a very good build quality. The touchscreens and so on. They are actually quite easy to learn and everything is very nicely visualized. However, you can always argue if while driving a central control knob is a little bit more practical and safer to use. But voice control now gets better and better, although Audi, as for the voice input, is not as up to the game with BMW and Mercedes yet. Probably they will change something for the future models there. They have to, actually. Then the rear and the inside is actually quite well to use still, considering it's a coupe style car, but it fits still for tall people. And the trunk, actually quite astonishingly, that for such a sporty vehicle you can easily load things in and out. So that's a unique selling point here, definitely for the 7 models of Audi. Driving wise, we can expect, of course, a lot of performance. Really looking forward to drive this one if that really still masters sportiness and comfort. The S7 was a very cool ride. But of course, this 3-liter diesel power was, somewhat good for everyday driving and a little bit lower fuel consumption. This one then here, the true performance version. Let's see how that one plays out. What can they still do? I mean, they have a mild hybrid system and cylinder on demand, so cylinder deactivation technology. So that's something more towards sustainability. Will that drop the fuel consumption? I'm not exactly sure about that. We have to find out about that. Of course, on the interior, they need to use less animal skin. It's, it's modern times and should belong to the past, the same as street lanterns are not powered by whale fat anymore. But Audi is also learning. We've seen that with the newer concept models. Other than that, I think it's a really fantastic car. I'm not sure if I would spend all the money for, more than double the base price at least for this one. So it will always be way more than 100K. That's really a harsh price, so money shouldn't matter to you then. I really like a 3-liter TFSI. We've already driven that one. You can check it out, that review in the video description. That is a really cool car and a cool combination. It will definitely be enough, and maybe this one, leave it for dreaming. Or, are you really intending to buy this one? Then put it in the comments. So let's discuss now about the Audi RS7 and tune into more episodes of Audi RS cars. Or, of course, also our full driving reviews with the normal versions. We have everything you need here on Autogefühl. Thank you so much for tuning in.